Hey there, Leo. Welcome to your reading for the week of May 12th. This week, you start with this Renewal and Rebirth card and this Fertility and Creation card. Those are very similar. So you are probably creating something in your life, or there's something you want, some sort of new beginning that you desire. With the Page of Cups, it could be a dream. You know, the Page of Cups, he has this fish in the cup, and the Page of Cups is very dreamy and imaginative, so you could be imagining something that you want and desire or want to create in your life. And I think it would be a great week to get moving towards whatever that thing is with those two cards. And that's what I would do. I always say, like, you need to make sure that fish doesn't escape from that cup. So the Page of Cups is about grabbing onto something, or kind of like manifesting something here on earth that you want to create. And that's what I would do with that Page of Cups energy for sure. It could be love. We have the Page of Cups and the King of Cups. I don't know. Water has been all up in your business, Leo. So obviously this isn't going to be true for all of you, but some of you could be attracting a water sign or someone with water in their chart. You also have Earth here, and you get Earth with me a lot, so it could also be an Earth sign. But the Page of Cups can just be like a general admirer. I feel like this has been slow or something. I don't know. You have the Knight of Pentacles here. I have the word checking popping into my head as well with that Knight of Pentacles. It's almost like either you or, this could be someone that's interested in you as well, is like checking on the connection. Like, do I really want this? Do I not want this? I don't even think you've met this person yet, is kind of the feeling I get. And you have the Five of Wands right next to it. And so some of you might be thinking, like, if you are the secret admirer here, Leo, you could be thinking that this person, there's like competition for this person or something like that. But I really feel like there isn't. This person could be thinking there's competition for you as well. But really, I don't think there is. You end with the Hierophant, which is like marriage. So this could be like a person you marry in the future. You have the Six of Wands. Six of Wands is a card of victory and success. You also have the Five of Wands, which is conflict and competition. These two cards together in a reading would represent needing to do something to stand out above the competition, or needing to do something to get more attention than the competition. And I feel all of that would be really good for you. You have the Emperor. You go Five of Wands like this. Five of Wands, Emperor to the Hierophant. The Emperor would be about taking the lead. The Hierophant is like inside the box thinking, which is always a problem for Leo for some reason. And what I would say here is, here's the feeling I get on the Emperor, that if there is competition for something you want, like in work or business, I'm saying, then I feel like you need to just, it's like you need to claim it. I saw this card when I pulled it at the beginning, this Waking the Lion card, which is very Leo, obviously, for obvious reasons. And, this to me is like saying you just need to be the leader, like say it. Just say that, maybe in like work or career, you need to say, I am the best. Maybe you need to have that level of confidence. And I feel like the Six of Wands is really encouraging that as well. You have the Two of Swords. I think you get the Two of Swords with me a lot as well, Leo. Two of Swords, she is thinking like this or that, but really something is going to go this way over here. I look at this card of kind of as a card of negotiation, but it's mostly in the sense of mediation. The Two of Swords is a card of mediation. It can represent trying to find the middle ground between two sides, or it can be trying to find the middle ground in your own life. But the Two of Swords really says there's probably something that is better than the middle ground. There is this third place over here, which is maybe different or better than where she's sitting right now, but she has to see it. I would also say the same thing in anything that you're doing right now. Like, I feel like I've said this to you before, Leo, that if you're setting off on a journey to do something, it's kind of funny because you have this buy the book card coming up in the next row. But I feel like anything that you are doing at this time is not going to go buy the book. But that is not a bad thing. This could be a good thing. It could be more of an adventure, or you could get more out of something than you originally thought, or could just say something is different than you think it's going to be. And it could literally be anything. It could be love, could be business. But it's like, I think Leo has this idea of how something is going to go that they want with that Page of Cups, something you're dreaming about. And I feel like the Two of Swords is saying, well, it's going to be good, but it's not going to be how you think, right? It's going to be, and I think that's true in life in general, but, this feels a little bit bigger to me. than just like something small. With the Page of Cups, you have the Page of Swords. Yes, someone is spying. Probably you, because it's coming up in this reading. So, again, I think that I literally said it on this Knight of Pentacles. I was getting the word checking. It's like someone is checking something. I don't know, maybe you're stalking someone's social media or something like that. You could just be looking into a person in general. It doesn't feel bad to me. With the Six of Wands, you have the Wheel of Fortune. Yes, it's like you need to claim your victory before you have it. The Wheel of Fortune spins in whatever direction it wants. And the whole point of the wheel is to get it to spin in the forward direction, because the Wheel of Fortune is about your destiny. It's about taking control of your destiny. But it's, this card is your destiny, but how you see it. It is, I always say, Wheel of Fortune is a good card, but again, it's how you think your destiny is going to go, which is different than what your actual destiny is, right? So I feel that for a lot of you, this is about taking control of your vision, but it's like something is destined here that is coming in for you, is what I feel. We have, these 2 major arcana, 3 major arcana at the end here. It's almost like you are moving in a more destined direction, or something feels kind of like fated in this reading. With the Two of Swords, you have the Ace of Cups. Yeah, it could be love that's going in a different direction. I said something to you in your last reading about Leo finding their heart, I think. Because I said something about, is it the lion or is it the Tin Man in The Wizard of Oz? And people corrected me and said it's the Tin Man that needs to find his heart. But I kind of feel like it's Leo that is finding your heart. And that doesn't mean you're heartless right now. But what it does mean is that I think a lot of you are trying to figure out like where your heart belongs, or what your heart belongs to. And I'm not even just talking about love. I'm talking about everything in your life. It's like you're trying to live a more fulfilled life, or you're trying to feel more fulfilled. By the way, on my recorder, the time is wrong. It is actually 8 o'clock in the morning, but my recorder says 10:10. So it was 10:10 on my recorder. And again, I think you're trying to find your heart here. But 1010 could be an important number. I never pay attention to that. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this Milk and Honey card and this Buy the Book card. Pretty good. The Milk and Honey card is a good card of like bathing in goodness. The Milk and Honey card, sometimes I say like don't get high on your own supply. It kind of says don't stay stuck in a dream, don't drown in a dream. But at the same time, I feel pretty good about it. Like I said, I think the Buy the Book card is actually saying something is not going... I'm not trying to be clickbaity or anything like that here, but I don't think something is going to go buy the book, but I also think that is a good thing. It's like something is going to be better than you think, or it's just going to be more of an adventure than you think. And, that's what those cards are saying to me. You have the Five of Wands, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Eight of Wands. It's like you need to make your move towards something that you think there's competition in. Knight of Pentacles is no movement. Eight of Wands is quick movement. The Five of Wands, conflict and competition. So it's almost like you are looking at something and you're thinking there's more competition than there is. And but if you would do it, it's like maybe you would realize that you are 100 times better than the competition, And that's really what I feel here with this Five of Wands. It kind of reminds me, it's like I've talked to a lot of people in business, and like, a lot of times when I've worked with business people, they'll say like, I know so much more than my competition, but they're more successful. I'm like, yeah, but you're not proving it right now. And so I get a little bit of a prove it energy on this Five of Wands for you, Leo. You have the Knight of Pentacles. Again, no movement or slow movement with the Knight of Pentacles. He's the only knight in the tarot that isn't making a move, but he has everything he needs to be very successful. He has these oak leaves on his helmet, which represent knowledge and wisdom. He has these empty fields behind him that he could easily plant those seeds in. This seed right here. And if he planted that seed, it would grow. So, this is really encouraging like more progress on your projects or your goals or whatever you're trying to accomplish right now. Could also be movement towards a person if that's what you're looking for. But I think some investments need to be made, not necessarily financial, but this could be more kind of like more work or, proving it to yourself. And again, that's the other thing as well, is like you have no one to prove anything to other than yourself, right? So, that's what you're doing here. It's like you're proving to yourself that you are who you say you are, right? You have the Eight of Wands, which is like quick movement. Funny enough, I think that there is a lot of quick movement for people that exist right now, but again, we have to do it. Things are going to be very slow if we don't make bigger moves. And so the Eight of Wands is probably encouraging like a big move towards something. Eight of Wands is also like quick success. So I feel that there could be quick success here. On top of that, it is a card of communication. So if you're hoping to communicate with a person or whatever, this could be some sort of communication that's coming in for you with the Eight of Wands. With the Five of Wands, you have the Seven of Cups. Yes, told you. Seven of Cups is dreaming about something. He's dreaming of good things and bad things in these cups. But the whole point of the Seven of Cups is that he isn't going to know how something's going to go until he does it. Right now, he's just saying, oh, if I do this thing, these good things or these bad things will happen. But he really can't say that because he doesn't know. And so the Seven of Cups is definitely my card of finding out. The Seven of Cups says, you can't just assume that something you want is going to go one way or the other because you don't know, and you have to find out. So that's what I would do. With the Knight of Pentacles, you have the Four of Swords. Four of Swords is fantasizing as well. He is resting, relaxing, recovering, but there's a person right here who is blessing this other person in the stained glass window. So he is like hoping and praying for a blessing, but he's kind of also like fantasizing about it because he's just dreaming about it. He's not doing anything about it. Now, the Four of Swords isn't really a bad card, but, I would say that it's time to like make a move towards a blessing, or it's time to do something about receiving a blessing. It's almost like the universe, it's like you've asked for something and the universe has given you this, this blank canvas behind you here, and the universe is like, what are you waiting for? Like, start planting those seeds because I'm giving you something that you want. So, I would definitely make your move. With the Eight of Wands, you have the Five of Wands. Told you, conflict, competition with that Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands is quick movement, though. And, it's almost like if you would just prove something to yourself, it would move forward very quickly, whatever it is. So, like I said, don't be afraid to make your move here. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this Into Me I See card and this Waking the Lion card, which is a very appropriate card for Leo. So you're definitely taking control, taking the lead here in this reading. We have the Emperor, which is a card of leadership. Pretty much everyone has been getting the Emperor in this set of readings, and it makes sense. We have a bunch of energy that is moving into Aries. We have a bunch more that will be moving into Aries, like Saturn in the future and some other things as well. So it definitely seems to be a great time for you to like boss up and take the lead here. The Into Me I See card, the Intimacy card, says, I think you are getting intimate with yourself here, Leo, and you are saying, there are certain things that are connected to my heart with the Ace of Cups, and, this is about really doing things that align with your heart, which is, I said with the Ace of Cups, it's like you are finding your heart, or you are finding what your heart is connected to, and, I think that's going to be very important. You have the Six of Swords, the Emperor, and the King of Cups. The Six of Swords is moving on to calmer shores. I think Leo wants improvements. I think Leo needs improvements in their life. So you could be just doing things to create a lot of more improvements. It's a card of moving on to calmer shores. Sometimes I feel the Six of Swords is about going back to the drawing board. This is a very common energy, I feel, for fire, where it's like you're not necessarily like quitting something and starting over, but some of you could be going back to the drawing board on a project, or you could be more perfecting it in some way. And if you are doing that with anything in your life, I feel that this is going to work out very well for you. It's almost like you're releasing another version of something in your life. And, if you're doing that, then like I said, I see a lot of success in that for you. You have the Emperor, bossing up, taking the lead. The Emperor, I don't know, like everybody has had the Emperor, and he is wearing his armor on underneath his cloak on the Emperor card, and it says that he is ready to go at a moment's notice. So whenever, an opportunity presents itself, he's going to take action on that opportunity. And that's what I feel with the Emperor, is that you need to be ready to take action on an opportunity, because there is an opportunity that is about to be presented to you, and I feel like you need to take it, claim that opportunity. You have the King of Cups. King of Cups is kind of a card of being in touch with your emotions. So the King of Cups has very deep emotions. He's sitting in the middle of the water here, and, he has explored how he feels about something on a very deep level. Now, going in this direction with the Knight of Pentacles, maybe, like, I don't necessarily think this is bad, because sometimes I do think that we should feel into things before we take action. And if we feel into something and it feels right, and then, we've given ourselves the time to process it, then usually we make a better decision. So, I feel it would be a good time to like feel into things with that card. With the Six of Swords, you have the Lovers. I mean, there's a lot of love going on in this reading. So, if you're looking for a connection, definitely could be a very solid connection coming in for you. It's probably going to require some sort of change with the Six of Swords. This could be like, you're having to change where you live or something like that in the future, but looks pretty good. With the Emperor, you have the Chariot. Yeah, quick movement. We see a lot of quick movement, like a need for quick movement, because we have the Eight of Wands to the Chariot. The Knight of Pentacles is no movement. The Chariot is about really taking control of a situation. We have two cards of control in the tarot, the Chariot and the Strength card. The Chariot is a card of hard control. The Emperor is also kind of a card of control, but he's not so much a card of control. He is more controlling of his situation. So he kind of takes control when an opportunity presents itself. The Chariot would be an opportunity for you to set yourself apart. The Chariot, he is leaving the city behind him to set himself apart, to be different than everyone else. And so a lot of you, I kind of feel this for Leo, where it's like you could be, like a lot of you could be doing things in life that are maybe unusual in some way, or maybe they just go, what you're doing goes against what most people in society do. But, as a person who has done that, I can tell you that your life will be a lot more exciting if you do that in the first place. With the King of Cups, you have the Two of Wands. Yeah, like, what are you waiting for here, Leo? The Two of Wands, he's standing where he has always been, and he's looking out into the world, the world. He's not looking at the world that's in his hands. And so I feel there's like a much bigger opportunity outside of your comfort zone. Now, a lot of your readings basically say that. And I think leaving a comfort zone would be a good thing for you. Two of Wands is also about taking the lead. So a lot of leadership energy showing up in this reading. So if you're doing anything in your life to take the lead on something, I feel that will be very good for you. It's also funny that I said versions of something. You have this wand here stands on its own, and he's reaching forward and grabbing this other wand. It kind of says that you're ready for the next step in your life, or you're ready to take the next step in your life, and you're ready to, leave the past in the past and kind of like move forward into the future and all that other good stuff. So, if you're like, I feel like you are ready is what the reading is saying. It's like saying that you are ready to make these big moves in your life. You're ready for a new direction. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this Beginnings card, and I can't make this up. You have this card. It says Embrace Uncertainty. That is the whole entire reading. Basically says you need to embrace uncertainty. Two of Swords. She does not know what's going on that island behind her. That's why she's not moving towards it. You have the Chariot. He is moving into uncertainty. The Two of Wands. He has to get into the world. He has to have an adventure and go somewhere he's never been before. So, definitely a time. I think the uncertain direction is probably the right direction for you. I kind of feel like you've been prepared for this because you have the Hermit. The Hermit has been through a dark night of the soul, and now he's standing at the top of this mountain, and he's shining his inner light. But, the card itself kind of says that he's been through the hard part, and now he needs to come down from the mountain. Again, this is not accurate tarot. This is Chris's crappy tarot here. But I have always felt like the Hermit needs to come down from the mountain. He's standing in isolation. It's very tempting to stand in isolation when you've been through something difficult. But if, now he has to come down and share his inner light, which is what I feel like you need to do here, Leo, is kind of like blast your inner light all over the place. You have the Fool. Definitely time to take some sort of leap of faith in a direction. So, this could be like a little bit of a risk. You could be afraid of looking like a fool. But I think that, taking some sort of risk at this time, especially in work or business, would be really good for you, especially if you're reinventing something or, if you're doing your work in a different way. Now is definitely the time, Leo. I think that the Fool says you're almost over-prepared. I think that he is over-prepared, personally. He has this tiny little sack on his back, and he's about to work his way through the entire Major Arcana. So the card itself says you have everything you need right here, right between your two ears, and I would get started moving in a new direction. You have the Hierophant. I kind of do feel there are blessings. He is making the symbol with his hand here, and that symbol kind of represents the fact that he's blessing these two people in front of him. And so there could be some blessings or something coming in for you. And so if you're hoping for blessings, that's what could be happening with that card. With the Hermit, you have the Seven of Swords. Yes, variety is going to be your best friend, really, Leo. The Seven of Swords, he's going to war, but in a different way. So he is stealing those swords from this army in the background, but he's not just going to war. He's stealing the swords, which is a different way of going to war. So it basically says everything you want to do in life, there's probably a better way to do it. Instead of going straight towards it. This would be like if you have a business, there might be some guerrilla marketing that you could do that would be different than what everybody else does. And, that's what I would do here. The other thing I think is really important for you here, Leo, and this kind of makes sense because Aquarius is your opposite sign and we have Pluto in Aquarius. I kind of feel like just claiming something and like saying that you are something is very important. It's funny. I did a reading yesterday with the lovely Bonnie. It's actually up on my channel. And I don't remember if it was you or someone else that I said this to, but I was saying that we are kind of in a time where I think people really need to claim what they think they are, even if you aren't. You just need to say that you are. And if you do that, I feel that things in this direction, and sorry, something's popping up on my screen. But anyway, last time this happened, it stopped my reading, so I had to check. But, again, I think it'll be a good thing if you claim it. With the Fool, you have the Death card. Yeah, the Death card is a change. Like, there needs to be a change. The Death card makes sense right now. I think we're all being asked to let go of things we've been holding on to for a long time. The King is dead on the Death card. It just basically represents the death of establishment. And, Pluto going from Capricorn to Aquarius is the death of establishment. We are seeing tons of establishments collapse and crumble. We're going to see a lot more between now and 2033. And, it just is what it is, basically. Like, the old way of doing things is dying, and we're just entering into a new time. And it could be a little chaotic. This is why I say that we're in a time of chaos between now and 2033. It doesn't have to be a bad thing. It can be a good thing, but I think we have to choose to allow it to be a good thing. And we also need to just embrace new ways of doing things. If we do that, we will be successful. With the Hierophant, you have the Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands is a card of experimentation, which, based off of everything I just said, I think would be very good for you. Coming up with new or different ways of doing things. This is my card of throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks, which is definitely what you might have to do with the Nine of Wands. You might have to, experiment a lot. You might have to try a bunch of different things a lot. And if you do that, I think that you'll be much more successful. It definitely seems to me that the people that experiment are going to be much more successful moving forward. You have this hat card. Can't make this up. It says you will be playing a different role. Yes. Probably you will be in a leadership position, or you will be playing a leadership role. This doesn't have to be something very big. This could be something like you're taking the lead in your family, or maybe you're kind of like bossing up with your family or something like that. It could be anything. But there's definitely a ton of leadership energy going on in this reading. You have this June card. I always clarify these monthly cards, and you have this Mountain Road. It says you're on the road to success. Love it. So you could be, I kind of feel what this is saying is that you're going to feel much more sure of yourself in the month of June. So, which again, kind of makes sense. I think that the new moon we're having at the end of the month on May 26th is definitely very good. I think that people will, the summer I think is going to be maybe a little bit more positive than what we've been dealing with for a while. And so you could just be feeling better because you're feeling better, you're making bigger moves, and you're feeling more successful, right? You have this Flute card. It says disappointment in a friend or a lover. I mean, I don't know. I think that Leos have been disappointed by friends and lovers nonstop for like the past few years. And I'm not laughing at you, Leo. I'm laughing with you on this one. But I would just say that, I would look at those disappointments and look at what you learned from those situations because, it's probably going to teach you something about the future. But again, if you want love, I also think you have to let go of those disappointments so you can attract something that won't disappoint you. These next two cards are basically the same as that. I'm going to pull you an extra card because you have this Dark Man. It says dealings or relationships with a man with dark complexion or hair. Then you have the Scissors card, and it says disappointment in some affair. So probably the same thing. It's like maybe a past person. It doesn't even have to be love. It could be in work, I feel, for Leo, has disappointed you, and I think you could be healing from that. You have this weeping willow. It says family sorrow. I don't know. I also think Leos have probably had family issues for a while, and it could be anything, but, I think you're kind of healing from those things. You have this peacock. It says, beware of great pride. I feel like you need to be more prideful, really. I mean, I would be careful of people who have great pride without being able to back it up, right? It's one thing if a person is prideful, but they actually have a reason to be prideful. It's another thing if they're saying things that aren't true. But on a personal level, Leo, I think you need to claim things like bigger, more. I think you need to talk about how great you are. And, especially in work or business, you need to put that out there. So that's what I'll say about that. But this looks pretty good, Leo. I like it. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.